7, and welcome back to some more Sims the speed building. We are continuing on with my D&D mansion, aka the mansion that I will be putting all of the characters for my D&D cast series into and seeing what chaos unfolds. So if you haven't seen this series before, definitely go scroll down, look at the description, and find the playlist for this build so that you can start from either where you left off or from the beginning so that you can see the whole process of this build and sort of know more in depth about what's going on. Short story as a refresher, basically, at the time I started this build, it was really hard for me to sit down and do multiple builds one after the other and actually be able to focus on them because I just had a lot going on. I mean, I still sort of have a lot going on, but it's not nearly as bad. So after this one, I will go back to having regular builds where I just have the one build in the one episode. But this one was just having fun, taking my good old time with it, and using custom content on top of that just to have fun, sort of. I usually don't use custom content in builds, and also I sort of try to slightly hurry, trying to keep in mind that I am recording the video, so like I try to make sure that I'm conscious of time and stuff because I don't want the video to be too long. But with this one, I wasn't really worried about that. I was gonna split it up into several parts, and so, you know, none of that was like a concern for me. And ultimately, eventually, I will be using this as, like, a house that's gonna be, like, imagine, like, a reality TV type thing where you see what happens. So, like, you put a bunch of people together and just let it be. That's sort of what we'll be doing here. I will not be controlling the Sims except for like, brief things. So, like, I know there's going to be a cat in the house, so I want to make sure that the cat is getting fed. There is going to be actually a ghost actually in here, and I want to make sure the ghost spirit doesn't, like, float away, so I will make sure that every once in a while I forget what it's called, but where you try to keep the connection of the spirit to the world. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing for that. So those are small instances where I will take control. There might be a few here and there, but it's like really rare things, and there's like a very particular reason. They may be in a room that they're not supposed to be in or something like that, and I gotta get them out. So one of the rules is that I will be rolling a dice for each of the characters. They get access to certain rooms, so hopefully, you know, they have good rolls, because if you roll a 1, you're stuck in your room forever. Well, not forever. You're stuck in your room for that day, for that sim day. And I'm going to be at least recording, it's going to be a planned mini-series, so I will record like 2 or 3 episodes throughout the weekday. I feel like what I could do is do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday be its own, because the Saturday would be like the one where I would let them go out, unless they rolled a 1. If you roll a 1, then you don't get Saturday privileges. But, like, throughout the week anyway. I plan on letting them, like, go out and stuff like that, so I might make that like that one day, one episode. But if people like it and would like to see more of it, I could do like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a whole sim year, depending on the time span I put things, because I think if you're on normal with like, being like the normal season span, like where you put it in the middle is like 1 sim week is a season, or maybe it's 2 sim weeks is a season, so like all the seasons would be a year, like a sim year put together, so go through each season. But yeah, just as the series progresses and stuff like that, if you're watching and you really like doing that mini series and just seeing what happens, there's gonna be like 30 some sims, thanks to MCC obviously, in this house at one time. So even though like I admit there's some things with Sims 4 that if you just let things be on their own without mods, there isn't a whole lot. But I feel like with that many sims, chaos would happen no matter what. But also, I do have mods, so that just adds to it. So, I am definitely looking forward to seeing what happens. I have tried to make sure that a lot of these sims have very unique different personalities. They're based off of my D&D creations, so I imagine that a lot of them do, so I try to portray that personality difference as much as I could in the sim versions, and I am looking forward to seeing them all just being thrown together and seeing what happens. So right now we are working on Valletta's room, so oddly enough, Valletta actually hasn't been created in the created, well, she's like created technically, but y'all haven't seen her create a sim video. So yeah, it's sort of a awkward thing of like, I can't really say too much because she hasn't come out yet, but I gotta stay true to the role here, and when I rolled their dice, she got pretty high up there, so I had to make her room next. She got next dibs, even though her creative sim isn't out just yet. I think it's actually pretty soon. So yeah, looking at my calendar and my books and stuff, she is actually pretty soon. So the next creative sim video after this is another character named Marietta, and then Valletta will be after her. So it's not much longer. Granted, the week following this is a single cast video week, so it's just gonna be Arietta, and then the next week we'll have Valletta and another creative sim, but it may not be a D&D one because actually I'm gonna try to mix a few here and there because the cast series is gonna end before this build series is, so I'm sort of trying to see if I can get them to end a little bit closer to each other, just so that, you know, we could start the mini-series right around both of them ending. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to try to start spacing out just a little bit. But yeah, anyway, back to this video. So, with Valletta, what I will tell you with her, she definitely is one of those people that her group of people were sort of always looked at in a negative light and was sort of used and all this other stuff, like, used and told that they were like, you should stay away from them, but then also taking advantage of by those that were saying, hey, you should stay away from them. So, but now, like, you know, they've become more prideful people, like, they've tried to make sure that they're always standing up for themselves and, like, all this stuff, so she sometimes acts like, you know, she is the queen. She isn't actually the queen, but, you know, she's got sort of that personality because, like, if she instills that self in her, then exerts that to other people, she feels like, you know, they'll actually respect her more. So that's sort of how she is. So I'm literally making her, like, this little special seating area that she, like, because the whole point of these rooms is to make it seem like the characters themselves decorated them and such, and like even like with Drax, it was like he probably got his friends to help him because he's not that really big of a decorator type, but hey, it got done, versus, you know, some of the other ones probably are doing it completely on their own, and this is one of them. Valletta was like, I got this, let me tell you what I want and what I need, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I was definitely trying to make her room look sort of very elegant, very pretty, like very like I am the best sort of situation. But I also tried to have some snake influences in there because she is technically a Gorgon. So if you don't know what a Gorgon is, Medusa. That is what a Gorgon is. So snakes are a big part of who she is. So like the light that I chose on the ceiling was, it sort of looked like it was more of a snaky vibe. And I also try to find some snake plants. I technically do have some actual snakes, but the way that they work, I think they're an asset that was from Jungle Adventure, and someone separated them out and made them into CC that you could put anywhere. And they just sort of go woo across the road, or the world. And if I was to put them in her room, they would actually start going out of the walls and into the other rooms, or just floating off into the air because it takes a while for them to despawn. So yeah, they don't know the limits of a room, so I couldn't put actual snakes in a room. Though I would have, and like I put like a little aquarium thing, and that aquarium thing's actually annoying because every time I move a wall anywhere in this house, it kept taking the stuff out of the aquarium. because like it was a little CC aquarium and you could build your own stuff inside of it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Part of me could pretend that she has a snake in there or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll still put fish in there. But either way, the stuff like keeps like coming out of the aquarium, so I've left it to the end because it just kept, every time I try to put it back in, it would just pop back into the household inventory. So I was like, yeah, just wait. So yeah. But I did add some of the plants in there are actually snake plants. That is what they are called. I actually have some in my house, but I have to position them in a way that my cats can't get to them because they are technically poisonous to cats. So if you have a snake plant and you have a cat, be careful. So anyway, I did put some of those, but there was not many other snake references that I could find. And like I've downloaded, because like this build has been going on, I've been downloading CC as this build's been going on. I still don't think I have much snake references to stuff. But yeah, I did try to just give her some decorations that I imagine that she would like to have and like seem like something she would want, being the sort of elegant prima donna she is, or whatever. I think I'm using that word correctly. But yeah, so I tried to stick to more of the color scheme of the greenish blue, which is like what is technically on her. I can't even say that she wears it because it's like her color of her snakes and her snake body. So you don't really wear your scales, they're like your skin, they're just there. But yeah, that's like her color. So I tried to include a lot of that with some whites and some golds just here and there. White a little bit more than the gold, obviously, as you can tell. But I wanted it to be a little bit more, I'm really trying to go for that slightly elegant, almost queenie vibe sort of situation is how I'm trying to do it. I think I've brought it up a few times in the Create a Sims, but my D&D characters, I technically have one song that's supposed to be like their song. They're like sort of their theme song in a way. It's supposed to fit for them. And hers actually is titled Queen, by, who is it? I want to say the girl's name starts with an L. It's like Loren, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, it actually is called Queen. So that's one of the inspirational vibes, is queenish. Like Queen meets Snake. But yeah, that's why I gave her like this like really special seating area, because it's supposed to be like her throne area almost, is how she wants it to feel like, and it's like special to her. There's a reason why I gave her the mic. It may be because of one of her likes, because I did try to take in fact the likes that I gave them as Sims, because I chose likes that I think that would relate to them if they were in like more of this modern era setting. And I can't remember, I feel like I gave her I think it might be because of mischievous, trying to say jokes and stuff like that. That might be why, because she does have a slightly mischievous air to her. But yeah, with the artwork that was up above the like throne area, I say with quotation marks, I could not decide on what artwork to put up there whatsoever. But eventually I did decide on something, and it's just trying to find like the little things to add here and there to try to make the room feel a little bit more like there's something going on, and also like someone's living there, because obviously these people are going to be stuck in this, they're supposed to be stuck in here for a bit, and technically it might even be a whole entire year. Like, it needs to look like it's lived in to a certain degree. Now what's going to be fun trying to player test this whole entire build, because I'm going to have to play test every single bedroom and all the regular rooms to make sure that they can get to things here and there, because I use the Alt key to move things around freely with bb.move objects on. So, which I have MCC set to where bb.move objects is always on. So as long as MC is working properly and installed in my game, bb.move objects is on at all points of time. I just have to press the Alt button. But yeah, so because I do that, usually there's not a problem. Usually it's fine. But there might be some situations where it's not, so I'm gonna have to like go through and player test this whole entire thing before I do the mini series. So that's gonna be fun. But that's a topic for another day. That will be what I would talk about almost as soon as we start the mini series. Be like, you wouldn't believe how many things I had to change. No, I'm hoping that I did it in such a way that there's nothing has to be changed. So let's hope. We're gonna hope for the best. But anyway, we actually should be going on to the next room, or should be on the next room, which is gonna be Serena, my dragon lady, the cursed dragon lady. She actually has already showed up, so you should know. If you've watched those series and stuff like that, you should know what she looks like and how she is. You always can feel free to go back and look. There is going to be a link in the description below as well for the create a sim, so if you ever want to go back and look at any of the characters to see what they look like, because it may have been a while or you don't remember, you can click on that playlist and find the character that you want. So far, the rooms that we have created, like the people that we've created rooms for, was Nita, Drax, Valletta, and now Serena. So we're working on Serena, and Serena's got one of the rooms that actually had a bathroom. So part of the reason why I didn't give Valletta the bathroom was because, like, I feel like she just wanted, like, a nice, elegant room, and she didn't want, like, a smelly bathroom. Like, yeah, it would be nice to have a bathroom of your own, but also, sometimes, even if they're yours, bathrooms can become smelly, so, like, you know, that's an issue. Also, like, part of me, like, obviously, Gorgons are partially people, like, they have a chest and a head and arms of, like, normal people, but part of me is like, maybe they don't use the bathroom quite as much. So that was part of my logic that she didn't pick one of the bathroom rooms, because there's a few rooms that have a bathroom attached to them, and technically there's two of them, this one being one of them. The one that Serena's got is a decently sized room, but I was like, nah, I don't think she would really care to have the bathroom attached to her, so she picked that one over there, and then Serena got this one with the bathroom. There's one that's got a bathroom that it is like a small room, and it's like it's not like necessarily small, but it's like a narrow room, so it's like you don't have like a lot of things are really close together, but spread out long ways. But yeah. I try to get into the mindset of these characters, like, because I'm pretending like they've walked into this house before it was done and got to choose the rooms that they were going to be living in for this, like, reality show situation. And they went through and chose, and people got first dibs based off of, like, a roll. So, literally, I rolled dice. So, yeah. And Serena got to go fourth. Because Nita didn't have to roll a dice, because Nita was my very first character, so she sort of got dibs immediately. So she didn't have to roll a dice. Who knows, she may have been very towards the end if she had to, but she didn't. But yeah, so Serena is my rose gold dragon, which is a homebrew dragon race. That's sort of me and my boyfriend, like, I talked about it, and then, like, he added some input onto it as well. Like, the rose gold dragons are like, they're very much about love and finding, like, helping people with love, and sometimes they may butt in at the wrong points because they, like, see a couple arguing and they're like, no, love, you have to have love. So sometimes they can be annoying, and sometimes they might try to set people up when they don't need to be set up, but that is sort of the rose gold dragons thing. They are very precious, like, they find love as a very precious thing, so that is one of the aesthetics that I use to make her room. So, and I actually think I end up adding a few things later on, because also the vibe that she's going for, and she uses fans as a weapon, and I have several decorative fans, and I think I only use like 2 or 3 of them in her room, and I go back and add some more, I think, here and there later on. So, but it literally is her weapon, or like the Oriental, I think that's what they're referred to as, the Oriental fans. So Because I have several that are up on the wall as decorations. I have, like, a few that can sit on the tables. And, like, I think I literally only used one or two. And I was like, why did I do that? I could use so many more. But anyway. But yeah, I do try to take in her color scheme, which is mainly rose gold. So I try to get this pinky color that looks like it could be passable for rose gold if you added a shine to it. Obviously, you know, you really don't want your floors and your walls and your chairs and your pillows shining all the time. Now, one of the two dresser pieces, I think, actually look like it's rose gold. Like, they look like they have a shiny metal on them that looks like rose gold. So that's nice. But and then, like, a little bit of, like, purple, and then also some black, which, you know, it's a pretty dark color with the rose gold, but I actually sort of really like it, but I also really like the color black, and I like when things contrast really well, so yeah. But, you see, I have put a lot of hearts in places because the whole love thing for rose gold dragons, as I have come up with. And she is a cursed rose gold dragon on top of that, so she is like super homebrew in a way, her race. But basically, she was a rose gold dragon that got cursed to be stuck in a human body. But she's making the best of it, and she's having fun with it, so that's all that matters. But I honestly had, like, a lot of fun with her room. Like, I put little decorations all over the place, and, like, her little yoga area, I eventually have, like, little dangly things hanging down to it, because I feel like part of her personality and the fact that she's not, like, been cursed as a human, she's like, I can have my own human room and I can decorate it the way I want. And the thing is dragons, a lot of times, they have hoards. They like to collect things. Like, I would just imagine that she would, like, have so much fun decorating a room for the first time. And, like, would be trying to get little things here and there, and, like, hanging them from places. So that's what I sort of did. Like, she has these little stars hanging up on the windows. I eventually start putting, like, little bits of decorations on some of the tables and stuff. She has some of these artworks, and yeah, she has a little bit of fun decorating her room situation. So, and I do actually, yeah, I actually changed the windows ever so slightly just to make the curtains not, like, go into the other room, but I also try to make it to where on the outside it didn't look weird that these windows were moved. So I'm, like, using Alt to just ever so slightly shift them so that all the windows look like they're lined up properly when they're probably not. If you took a tape measure to them, probably not. But from down on the street looking to the house, you probably wouldn't notice, hopefully, is what I was going for. But yeah, anyway, back to this room. I'm also putting, like, love, like, words of love decorations, because, again, rose gold dragons are supposed to be a lot about love, but I'm just adding a whole bunch of little things, and here, and there, and just, I can't remember, because I just had a hamper, and I don't remember if I actually put the hamper down, but I need to go through and make sure that everyone has a hamper. That's, like, one of the things that I have wrote down somewhere, like, hey, make sure that every room has a hamper, or there's, like, at least enough hampers somehow on that floor, whether it's in a bathroom, in their bedrooms, in both, but make sure that there's a hamper. Because, I do have washer and dryers down in, like, one of the basement levels, so obviously their clothes are going to pile up if there's not enough hampers to hold their clothes. So yeah, I need to remember to do that, and I have it written down somewhere. I also have it written down to add more trash cans because I accidentally slightly player tested some of it, because I have Nita currently, at this point in time, I have Nita actually in the house, just so if, like, things try to disappear, they have a household inventory to go to, and all that sort of situations and stuff, and just already have someone in this house, so when I start moving people, so she's my base starting person. Look at all the stuff up there. Look at all the stuff on that canvas. I don't know if my voiceover's gonna line up fully correctly with that, but once you see the dresser, there's a lot of stuff on the dresser. But again, she's, like, supposed to be, like, a dragon, and they have hoards, and they collect things, so that's sort of, like, I'm trying to put stuff literally everywhere. Everywhere. But yeah, and Nita she had started grilling when I loaded into the house, and I was like, what? No, you're not supposed to be touching the house yet. Get out! So I had to get her to throw away the food so that I didn't forget when I started the miniseries that there's just food sitting in the grill. And she didn't have a trash can to throw it into. But though I really feel like there is a trash can somewhere in this house. But according to Nita, there wasn't. And particularly, there wasn't one outside. I did realize that, so I put a trash can outside. So I need to also make sure there's trash cans in places. I'll probably put a few of those in the bathrooms or something. Like, there just needs to be trash cans. So that they have places to put things. Or throw away things, I mean. Yeah. I would like to know what you thought about Valletta's room, by the way, down in the comments below. And as I finish up Serena's room, definitely let me know how you feel about Serena's room. I admit, I actually really, really like Serena's room. I don't know if her or Nita's is my favorite. I feel like this room, though it has its darker elements, it is a lot brighter than Nita's room. And sometimes I sort of like the darker rooms. But at the same time, I really like this one. I really think it's really pretty. And the fact that there's just so much stuff also sort of makes me giggle. I technically could have put more stuff, but the more stuff you put, the more you're gonna risk that Sims can't use things. So I was like, eh. But I do come back and add some fans to the room because, again, if you see the drawing of my character, her weapons are literally fans that have been customized with, like, little tiny blades on the end of them. And that's her weapon. So yeah, it just made sense to have fans in there somewhere, but I didn't think about it at the time. Anyway, let me know what you think about her room down in the comments below. We're also going to be doing her bathroom here. I debated on whether or not including her bathroom because I have been mainly keeping these at like closer to 25 minutes. This one's going to be more closer to like on the higher ends of the 20s, like 28, 29, almost getting into 30. Potentially might actually be 30 by the time I finish with everything. So, we'll see. But I didn't really want to disconnect her bathroom. I did it to Nita, but I did it on accident because I forgot about Nita's bathroom. But with Serena's, I remembered, and I don't want it to be a situation where it's just left for another day or off onto another video, so I did want to try to include it. Also, the fact that with all these rooms, I'm realizing, for the most part, there's only going to be able to, for the time that I wanted to do, I'm only going to be able to fit like 2 bedrooms in a video, at least for now, so having this smaller roomed bathroom is nice. Now, as I go on, a lot of the rooms start shrinking a bit, they're not quite as big, so it might, I think I don't take as much time on them, I think. I also eventually start trying to pick out the decorations and stuff for the room beforehand and set them on the outside of the room so that I'm not scrolling forever and stuff like that. So it should be getting to a point eventually where there's 3 or 4 bedrooms in one video, but here at the start with these bigger rooms and stuff like that, there's definitely probably only going to be 2 per video. Now, in the next video, we should be seeing Ify and Amara's. The person after that is Myron. And I don't know if you remember from the last episode, I did talk about with some of mine, they messed up. Like, the recording was lost. So sadly, I had to go back into the rooms and just show you the finished product versus the build of it. But I still at least wanted to show the room. Myron's is one of those, so I might purposely separate him off into the next one so that all those rooms are in together. So it's probably only going to be 2 people in the next one as well with Ify and Amara. And then after that, I will show the rooms that sadly got cut off and sort of talk about those rooms real quickly and such, and then we'll go back to seeing more of the build rooms as the process goes on. I really hate that I lost the footage of those rooms so badly, but anyway, I hope you like Valletta and Serena's rooms and Serena's bathroom as well. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this series and are liking the video, hit that lovely like button, subscribe, you know all that lovely YouTube goodiness, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But until then, bye bye!